listening to this week's episode of Pre-Brawl, your prep show for the Tavern Brawl in Hearthstone, part of the Hearth Podcast. Hello and welcome to the third episode of the Pre-Brawl. It's the 1st of July, and this brawl's going to go through the 5th. The 5th, that's a Saturday. Happy Canada Day for those Canadians out there, like the one I'm joined with today, Mr. Aidan Rockarts.
Hey, Canada Day.
And almost the much better version of that, but for America, 4th of July in a couple of days. So, you know, some stuff, things, countries. Wow. Yeah, great. Hey, so this is the Pre-Brawl, which means we're going to talk about the new Tavern Brawl that's out today. Frost and I just got done playing a couple of games of our own, so we know what we're talking about. And it's a little bit of it's a creepy one. It's a little creepy, right?
Ew, bugs.
Ew, gross.
Spiders.
This one is, what do we call it? Because the last one was bananas. What do we say for this one?
Peter Parker.
Sure. Okay, fine. Peter Parker. This one, if you're not familiar with the card Web Spinner, it is a 1/1 spider, and it's a death rattle that when it dies, it adds a random beast to your hand. Not a random beast from your deck, but a random beast overall. So you could get anything from another Web Spinner to King Crush. It's kind of an exciting, interesting sort of random sort of card. And in this brawl, you get to choose one of the 9 classes again, but you're not constructing a deck. You're just playing a deck that has lots of basic class cards in it, and then all of its monsters and all of its common cards are just web spinners. Like, I got a hand of 4 web spinners, put them back in my deck, and got another hand of 4 web spinners. Like, that's how many you're gonna have. Let's just talk about our first impressions really quick. So, Aidan, what did you think about this from the games that you played? We're just out of the gate.
I think that they took, I think everyone wanted this from the Naxxramas class challenge. Like, ever since that, I think everyone kind of wanted this as a brawl. And I think they did it in the right way. Instead of limiting it to only Hunter, you can play every single class, and they're kind of all different because although you have web spinners, your only minions are web spinners, you get your class specific spells. So I mean, like, currently I've played stuff like Mage, I've played Paladin, I was thinking about playing Shaman because they all have like really low, well, not low cost, but they all have like really big AoE wave clear. So it's like not only are you getting these beasts that the other player also will have, so you're kind of on an even playing field with RNG for minions, but you can really have the power to determine if you like what spells you're gonna get. So I guess that's kind of random. You get random spells each game, but I mean, I think they did it the right way, and I really like it, honestly, so far.
Okay, that's fair. My first impression was a little bit different. The first game I played, I did not have very much fun. I thought it was kind of frustrating because I just wasn't seeing a lot of good returns from my web spinners, and wasn't seeing any good returns for my opponent either. So it kind of ended up being a sort of boring game where we were just throwing down like low cost kind of dumb beasts that weren't really doing anything, and it was a hunter versus a hunter, so we were really just like putting a timer on the game because we would just use hero power and yada yada. But the second game I played as a mage, and I had a much better time. I had a lot more fun. There were a lot more fun cards that came out of those web spinners. Also having the ability to ping just one, like on my own side, even if I want to do that, was very useful to get some more cards kind of in the mix. I would assume that, like you were saying, like Shaman would be super interesting because you'd have like your totems too.
Yeah, exactly. Like getting taunt totems would stop them like really early. Yeah,
and then the Paladin, you can just, white weenie fill your board, although that's just mana inefficient with considering how many web spinners you're going to have in your hand.
Yeah.
Warrior would be also very kind of interesting. You could just whirlwind and clear the field.
Yeah, really, because like the first couple turns, it's literally just he plays 1 web spinner, then I coin out 2 web spinners, and then he plays 2 web spinners, then I play 3 web spinners. It's just over and over for the first couple turns until someone finally makes a trade.
Pretty much, yeah. There was at the Hunter versus Hunter game that I played, we had 5 web spinners each on the field, and we were just going face with them. And then he finally decided to trade all 5. And then just that game was very different from there on out.
Yeah, really.
So what sort of interesting, like, things do you think we're going to see from this? Do you think that this is a sort of brawl we'll see again in the future or not, or like in a different way? Because you were saying that this was inspired by the Naxxramas Clash Challenge, right? I'm assuming the Hunter Clash Challenge, right? So
I think that I don't know. I think it's gonna like die out fairly quick because it's really you're just getting beast cards, and I mean it's RNG, so it's kind of fun because I think it's once again it's gonna be a great mode to play against your friends. Like, holy crap, this guy he got Captain's Parrot from his web spinner when we traded, but I got King Crush, and that'd be really fun. It's like he slaps down his Captain's Parrot on turn 10, and then you slap down a King Crush and win the game. It's like shit like that's kind of fun. But I mean, I think that when it comes to originality, I think the only other thing we'll see is the Mage Unstable Portal one, which I think honestly will be better because even more RNG. But I don't know. I think it's fairly basic. It's not super interesting, but it's at least entertaining me.
Okay. Yeah, I feel in comparison to the other two brawls, maybe this is my least favorite. I think it's interesting, but I feel like I would probably have more to say about the banana one than this. And the Nefarian versus Ragnaros run was super, super cool because it was lore-based, and that was like a really well thought out sort of just like scenario. But this one, it just seems kind of boring in comparison. It's still fun, but in comparison to the other two, I feel like it's not as hype.
Yeah, I could see that for sure.
Yeah. All right, well, cool.
I was gonna say, like, it's the game mode is really, can you RNG the best beast, or you have to. The only thing that requires thought is choosing what class you want to play based on their spells that you may or may not get. Like, it's not like you're guaranteed to get a Flame Strike. You just may get one.
Right. So with what we've seen so far from it, I think the last thing we have to talk about probably is when is the best time to trade?
Yeah.
And when is a good time to just go face with things like web spinners?
Once again, I kind of believe it depends on your class. For example, if you're going to play Hunter, I've seen a lot of people play Hunter. I'm not sure if they just think you can only get beasts in Hunter or get web spinners in Hunter. I'm not sure. I'm sure people will figure it out eventually. But for example, if you're playing something with Hunter, you're playing an aggro class, you want to go face for the most part. Like, even your web spinners, you let them trade into your web spinners. Hopefully they don't get a crazy AoE. But like, if you're playing something such as Rogue or Paladin or something like that, you wait until you get a clear. Like, I was playing Rogue earlier, and if I can get a Fan of Knives, it's 3 mana, does 1 damage to everything on their board. If I can do that and clear their entire web spinner army, then that's way better than trading my entire side of the board into theirs. So, like, if you're playing like mid-ranged or late game or control-oriented classes, you really want to wait for some sort of spell to really change the change how the
game is going. Sure, but at what point in time? Every single time. Okay, let's just say they cleared your board and you got garbage, right? Like, let's just say you guys both had 6 web spinners on the field, and then that turn before you have, let's say you have a flame strike in hand, and then they whirlwind. No, that's a bad example. That we kill them too. They also flame struck, okay, right? And they killed all your guys, and you're like, well, shit. And you got like 2 more web spinners. You got that gorilla silverback or whatever that gorilla is, the 1/4 taunt that's garbage, and something else that's trash. And
yeah,
then
so you're saying
I should flame strike, but they do have a chance of getting something phenomenal.
Yeah, I understand that. Like, once again, it's kind of like, how risky are you willing to play? Like, if you have a full board of web spinners against like a paladin or a mage or a shaman, then if they get that flame strike, consecration, or like lightning strike, and lightning storm, you're probably gonna lose that game unless you get some crazy cards. So it's kind of like, do you press your luck? It's the same thing that we talked about in not last week's episode of The Hearth, but the week before. It's just kind of like, you play around certain mana spikes, like you play around turn 7 Flame Strike, you play around turn 4 Consecration, play around stuff like that, and then you'll probably win the game unless they get really lucky with the top deck.
Right.
It all comes down to just playing as smart as you can, and then the rest is kind of luck.
Especially in a game mode like this.
Yeah, exactly, where half your cards are random, half all your spells are random.
Right. Okay, well, I don't really feel like there's a lot to discuss about this game mode unless you can think of something else.
I think we could maybe say, like, what class do we personally think will be the best? Like, if you want to choose one, I would choose one, and then why would that be?
I would be cool with that. Why don't you actually rank top 3?
Ooh, okay. I guess I'll go first. I'd put number 3 at Shaman. I think having the taunt totems and like all your 2 health totems would be really, really helpful in the first early turns against 1/1s. if I was going to go second, I would put Paladin. I think having a turn 4 clear for all the web spinners is absolutely crazy, and Paladin has a lot of good spells to keep them in the game. Like if you get I guess you can't get weapons, which is kind of crappy. But I mean, if you get a lay on hands, like
Yeah,
8
but
mana, heal yourself for a ton, you're
I've
probably
gotten
going to win that game.
so many angry chickens that the buffing cards from the Paladin class would make that card pretty nuts.
And number one, just have to say Hunter. Like, I mean, it seems weird, but they already have spells that synergize with beasts, right? So if every single card in your deck is a beast, then if you get a kill command, no matter what, you're going to have a card to proc it.
Yeah.
So it just synergizes so well because it's the core class for it.
Right. For myself, I would say number 3. I would probably put Paladin.
Ooh.
Because I feel like the hero power is not good, because it's mana inefficient with how many web spinners you're going to have. You're already putting out 1/1s with a death rattle that's not bad. Well, it could be bad. That is a thing, and it's 1 mana instead of the 2 mana 1/1s, right? Just whatever. You're not going to really overflow the board. Who cares? But yeah, I mean, the buffing cards puts it in the 3rd spot. It's not. I mean, it's going to do better than Druid, in my opinion. But yeah, I just think it's mana efficient with the hero power, and I think that kind of kicks it in the kneecap a little bit. For second place, I'd probably say Mage, because you get a bunch of really good clear cards and stuff like that. And just a lot of the spells, like Frostbolt, to take out some of the mid-range drops that you might get and stuff, or that they might get, is really good. Some of the secrets are pretty good too. Yeah,
I actually won a game earlier from getting an ice block and an ice barrier secret. So he couldn't kill me, so I could kill him.
Yeah, Mage has a lot of ways that it can pull a game out of its ass. So I think it deserves some recognition for sure. And then first, Hunter, obviously. I mean, if you get the right sort of cards, all of your spell cards will synergize, like Aidan was saying, with the beasts that you're getting and that you're generating from those cards that you're pulling as well. That's pretty much across the board. I'm assuming what everybody's going to say.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So what class do you think would be the worst to play?
Ooh, I was gonna personally say priest. Like, I was thinking about that earlier. Because you're not gonna heal anything. The only thing you're gonna heal is your own face after a hunter beats you. Like, priest just seems like so counterintuitive. Like, other than like some of their early spells are really good. Like Velen's is really good. Power Word Shield is good. Death and Pain are good. But I mean, mind control is probably not that great in this. There's just so many downsides, I think, to playing that.
Right. I would probably agree. The only other thing I'd probably say would be maybe a second to worst might be Druid.
I think the only good spell with Druid would be Swipe, right? And I mean, that's a 1 in whatever to get Swipe, and then the rest of their spells really aren't that great.
I mean, they're okay. They're not bad. You get some buffs and stuff, and Yeah,
but you're not going to RNG like Savage Roar and then Force of Nature to get the combo, right? You're not going to get both of those.
It's not a calculated, constructed deck in which Druid shines. Like, Druid just fumbles at best in a random situation like that. So yeah, I would say that's probably my bet for worse.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, I don't. Again, there's not a lot of complexity to this. Really, the best advice to be giving to you guys is to play those classes we were talking about that would be good. Avoid the ones we thought would probably be bad, and then just get in there and play it, because there's not really a lot of meta to this one. You can't really plan for a lot of things. It's a lot of just rolling with what you get and having fun in doing so. So get out there, play with some friends, and just do some Tavern Brawl, dude. Get that pack.
Yeah, the pack.
Get the free pack from your first win. But other than that, I think that's gonna probably do it for this pre-brawl. A little shorter, but what are you gonna do? Not a lot of stuff to talk about with this one.
I still like it. I think if you play with your friends, you're gonna have a lot of fun. But I mean, it's very it's not very there's not a lot of depth to it, if you will.
Right. Yeah. Cool. So that's going to do it for us. We'll see you guys for the Hearth on... Oh, it might not be Saturday. We might have to move it because 4th of July and stuff. We're going to see what's going on with that when we get around to that. But we'll see you guys for the next episode of the Hearth. Visit our website at warfinch.com. Help support the show at Patreon, patreon.com/the Hearth. And like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Just look for The Hearth for both those things and you'll find us. And send us emails at thehearthshow@gmail.com. That's going to do it for us. We'll We'll see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.